From the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now, the latest news.
Kylie Conway has the latest news. The top headlines. News you can use.
Please stand by.
Sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling. Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Thursday, February 25th. A colder start this morning for sure. We started in the mid-20s. Might have had to scrape those windows, but we're going to warm up okay into the low 40s. And this morning, police are searching for an escaped inmate in and around the Newcastle area. Indiana State Police say Jacob Van Pelt and another inmate got free from the Henry County Jail. Police caught the second man. Van Pelt still on the run. Police say they're using some police dogs in the search. We decided to check some online court records to see why Van Pelt was in jail in the first place. It's because he was dealing meth and for other drug charges. And today, some new mobile COVID-19 vaccine centers are out and open. They're in places where otherwise there aren't any appointments available. Everything was already booked. So again, 10 of these new mobile vaccine centers are there. They're open. They're not walk-up clinics. You do have to make an appointment. You're going to see them in Bartholomew, Clinton, and Randolph counties. We have the addresses, the exact addresses to all of these on wishtv.com. We also have in that same story how you can register. You can dial 211 as usual, but there's also a link that will take you to an online booking appointment if you'd prefer to do that. And today there will be a new update on COVID-19 in Marion County from the mayor and the health director. It times out with the launch of a new way to inspire support of small businesses. The message is community over competition. It's all part of the Back Downtown campaign led by Downtown Indy. The goal is to remind people how much support for local businesses is needed during this ongoing pandemic.
We will be here tomorrow.
We will be here tomorrow.
If you're here today.
The first video launched just hours ago and features more than a half dozen downtown restaurant leaders encouraging you to visit some other downtown businesses. Downtown Indy Bob Schultz says the idea came from St. Elmo's Craig Hughes and Tony Ricci, who are both seen in the video, chatting about which restaurants they love to visit downtown.
Let us treat you to something delicious.
Not just here at Bluebeard,
but also at the best chocolate in town.
and then go visit our friends at Cafe Patachou.
And then go grab some dinner tonight at Tony's.
The video is crafted to drive engagement on social media, and Downtown Indy says there are more to come. The organization hopes the theme also inspires other businesses to create their own videos, promoting not just dining, but also shopping and entertainment downtown. Downtown Indy launched the Back Downtown campaign last summer as the coronavirus pandemic, social justice protests, and rioting left the usually bustling downtown area quiet and desolate. Wrigley Media Group, based in Kentucky, is actually partnering on a pro bono basis with Downtown Indy to produce the videos for them. And one Indiana vaccine effort is getting national attention. Through the Homebound Hoosier program, paramedics go out and give shots to people who cannot safely go out and get it themselves. The doses come from clinics that have extra at the end of the day because of canceled appointments or no-shows. Rather than relying on a call list of people who might be able to come in, the paramedics go out.
This is super important for our community, and it is a relief to these folks.
They are very vulnerable, and that's why we have to find a way to get the vaccines to them at their homes.
For now, the service is limited to people who are already verified through a homebound service and meet the eligibility rules. Organizers say 1,200 people have signed up across the state. To register, you can call the Area Agency on Aging. We've put that number on our website's coronavirus page. The state is shutting out several clinics for giving shots to people who were not yet eligible. Health leaders are not naming the clinics that did it or saying how many there are, but they do say those places will not be allowed to take new appointments. The state will also no longer give first shots to people from other states. IT Mate is asking questions about vaccine wait lists. Dr. Thomas Dushinsky of Richard Fairbanks School of Public Health says clinics can face a tough decision if they have doses left at the end of the day's appointments. Do they throw the vaccine out or give it to someone who may not be eligible?
This has always been a challenge, right? That we want to put vaccines in arms, and you know, you have to make a personal decision sometimes as which is better or which is the lesser of two evils in this instance, right?
IT Mate has asked the State Board of Health to clarify exactly what can qualify someone for a vaccine waiting list. We still haven't gotten an answer there. Leaders at IU are planning for in-person classes in the fall semester. School president Michael McRobbie says the decision is based on advice from IU's medical and public health experts. McRobbie describes the goal as mostly normal operations by the fall. He says some health and safety precautions will stay in place, but those could change depending on how many students and staff are fully vaccinated. Classes through the university have been mostly online for the past year. Some health experts believe one variant of the virus may cause a surge of cases in the next few weeks. The CDC says the U.S. could see cases climb because the UK variant, which spreads more easily. The CDC director spoke during an American Public Health Association webinar yesterday. She estimates the UK variant could be the predominant strain by mid to late March. And this morning, the U.S. is one step closer to a single-dose coronavirus vaccine. The White House says it's getting ready for the rollout of Johnson & Johnson's shot once the company gets emergency use authorization. There will be fewer doses than originally anticipated, though.
We were surprised to learn that Johnson & Johnson was behind on their manufacturing. As you noted, it was kind of reported earlier to be about 10 million, and now it's more like 3 to 4 million doses.
The vaccine maker says 20 million doses will be ready to go into arms by the end of March. We learned yesterday that the FDA says the shot is safe and effective against COVID-19. Some health experts predict this third potential vaccine could first be available to groups that may not currently be eligible for the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines.
My suspicion is that it's going to start with those people who are lower risk for severe disease to begin with. So people without comorbidities, people who are younger, the general population.
People could start getting the shot as early as next week if the FDA clears the way. And the nation's critical supply chains are going through a 100-day review. President Biden signed an executive order yesterday during a meeting with lawmakers. Indiana Senator Mike Braun was there. According to the president, the reliance on imports of advanced batteries, pharmaceuticals, critical minerals, and semiconductor computer chips could become a national security risk. Right now, a computer chip shortage is hitting the auto industry hard. The Postmaster General promises changes to get mail arriving on time again. Louis DeJoy is facing sharp questions from lawmakers in a hearing about Postal Service problems. DeJoy says he has a 10-year plan to turn things around. He's focusing on 3 main areas: making sure every address gets mail service 6 or 7 days a week, supporting postal workers to strive for long-term careers, and upgrading post office technology and equipment.
There will be 2-day mail class in our plan. Some percentage of that where the reach is right now may change.
Critics have called on DeJoy to resign. He told lawmakers to get used to him because he's staying.
Searching for a romantic summer getaway? Escape with Rich Girl Summer, the new Audible original from Lily Chu. The exquisitely talented Philippa Sue returning to narrate her 5th Lily Chu title. This time, Philippa is joined by her real-life husband, Stephen Pasquale. Set in Toronto's wealthy cottage country, aka the Hamptons of Canada, Rich Girl Summer follows the story of Valerie, a down-on-her-luck event planner posing as a socialite's long-lost daughter, while piecing together the secrets surrounding a mysterious family and falling deeper and deeper in love with the impossibly hard-to-read and infuriatingly handsome family assistant, Nico. Caught between pretending to belong and unexpectedly finding where she truly fits in, Valerie learns her summer is about to get far more complicated than she ever planned. She's in over her head and head over heels. Listen to Rich Girl Summer now on Audible. Go to audible.com/richgirlsummer.
NASA is unveiling the design created to help them operate the Mars rover. Engineers placed a pattern on the Perseverance parachute to know its orientation during last week's landing. Orange and white stripes spell out code in binary. The rover's chief engineer tweeted out the significance. The 3 inner rings spell out President Theodore Roosevelt's quote and a mantra at NASA's lab, "Dare mighty things." GPS coordinates for the Jet Propulsion Lab in California make up the outer ring. The engineer who came up with this idea says 6 or so people knew the message before the landing. On wishtv.com, you can also take a look at the first 360-degree views of the rover's landing site. It's 142 images stitched together, and it's very cool. And this morning, we did learn some new details in an Indianapolis police shooting that left a man in critical condition. Police say officers with the Crime Gun Intelligence Center were investigating Tavon Macklin. They say Macklin was riding in a car when they tried to stop it near 34th Street and Sherman Drive on the east side. The driver kept going. IMPD released some pictures yesterday. As we reported, the car eventually did stop when police say Macklin jumped out and shot at officers.
One of the bullets hit an IMPD car. So 7 officers fired their guns. At least one of those shots hit Macklin. Police say Macklin is in the hospital. His condition is improving. At least 3 officers had body cameras on. All officers involved are on administrative leave, which is standard protocol. Today, family and friends will gather to remember a victim of gun violence. Darrell Brown was an Army veteran. He was 25. Police say he was shot to death last month at an apartment complex near 30th and German Church. IMPD says it has a few, if any, leads. The family is now asking for help from the community. The candlelight vigil is tonight at 5:30. IMPD now calls a deadly situation on the north side a murder-suicide. A woman died first. Police say she was shot outside a house yesterday afternoon at 49th and Carolyn Avenue. That led to a standoff. IMPD says a SWAT team worked for several hours to convince a man inside to come out. Eventually, officers broke down the door and say they found him dead inside. We spoke to people who live nearby.
They said that he was shooting from the house with a scope and then eventually shot himself. Not something you would have thought he would have done.
IPS School 91 went into lockdown during the situation. Police have not yet released the names of the man or woman or anything about how they knew each other. Today, the acting chief for U.S. Capitol Police goes in front of lawmakers on Capitol Hill. Yogananda Pittman is set to explain how authorities were warned of violence before the riot at the Capitol building, but were not prepared for how bad it got. According to testimony submitted ahead of the hearing, she'll describe intelligence failing to predict the scope of the insurrection. Acting House Sergeant-at-Arms Timothy Blodgett is also testifying. He's prepared to tell House lawmakers there was contradictory information about the Trump rally. Authorities say Tiger Woods will probably not face any charges for his violent SUV crash, but they do want to know how fast he was driving. The local sheriff says investigators will be looking at the electronic device that is the automotive equivalent of a black box. Investigators say Woods lost control of his SUV early Tuesday morning, crossing a median, going off the road, then rolling over several times. As we reported yesterday, Woods suffered severe leg injuries that required immediate surgery. Some are calling for safety improvements to that stretch of road. According to the LA Times, there have been 13 accidents in that same area in just more than 1 year.
This stretch of road is challenging, and if you're not paying attention, you can see what happens. There was no evidence of any impairment whatsoever. And this is what it is, an accident.
Police say the golf great's cell phone records could tell them if Woods may have been distracted at the time. Noblesville's new school's community center is now open. The building is, of course, open to students, but it's also a space for anyone who lives in Noblesville to use. It's near Field Drive between the high school and Noblesville East Middle School. At more than 15,000 square feet, it offers 2 large classrooms, 4 offices, an on-site kitchen, technology learning spaces, and a very large 7,500 square foot open space that can be used for multiple purposes. For example, the building will offer adult education classes, public meetings, and the ability for indoor sports practices. The community center will also be home to the Miller Success Academy, which is an enhanced alternative education program for Noblesville students. The $6 million 2-year project was completed on time and was funded by a bond without the use of referendum dollars or an increase in the tax rate. Also, it's right next to Noblesville High School's new stadium, which should be completed in 2022. The Indianapolis Department of Public Works is working to fill potholes around the city. DPW says it's using hot mix asphalt to repair the streets. The department says that type of asphalt is a more permanent pothole patch because it sticks to pavement better and is more weather resistant. So far this year, DPW says crews have filled more than 22,000 potholes.
You gotta learn and remember where they're at so that you don't blow a tire. With this rise in temperature, and you know we're going to have another freeze, that's what gets the water down in there. It freezes and heaves. So I'm afraid we've got more to come, unfortunately.
DPW says it fills potholes as requests are reported. The department says its first priority will always be the main thoroughfares. And today will be the first of a series of virtual town hall discussions on COVID-19 in Spanish. Wish TV is a media partner of the Indiana Latino Institute's conversations with a panel of medical experts and community leaders. According to the Institute, the town halls are aimed at educating Latinos in Indiana on the benefits of the vaccine and the process for getting a free vaccine. The organization says many Latinos are hesitant to get vaccinated. Institute President Marlene Dotson says some people are worried about how quickly the vaccine was developed and what side effects it might have.
Meet individuals where they're at individuals that can relate and speak their same language, so that way that we can have the best way possible to communicate this most important information to them.
This is so crucial for our Latino community, as this community has been disproportionately impacted during this pandemic.
The town hall runs from 6 to 7 tonight. It will be in Spanish. You can watch it live on wishtv.com and on our Facebook page. Now to business headlines. Women have had great success breaking into the tech industry in some cities, including Indianapolis, which ranked 14th. Smart Asset says through the number of computer and mathematical occupations in Indianapolis, Indiana grew by only about 6% from 2015 through 2018. Women working in tech make almost the same amount on average as men working in tech. The gender pay gap in the tech industry in Indianapolis is 96%, according to the latest census data. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety released a report on Wednesday highlighting the models that perform best in its crash tests. A whopping 90 vehicles earned accolades from the organization, proving vehicles are safer than ever. The Hyundai Motor Group earned the most IIHS awards for 2021. The Federal Communications Commission announced the winners of an $81 billion auction for the license to use important airwaves that are ideal for 5G. The big winners were Verizon and AT&T. They need these airwaves in order to build 5G networks, which are significantly faster than current wireless service. Verizon, through its Cellco partnership, spent nearly $45.5 billion on the airwaves. AT&T, through AT&T Spectrum Frontiers, spent $23.4 billion. Facebook will spend $1 billion on news content over 3 years. Facebook is facing global criticism for taking news content from media sources for free. Australia sought to impose such requirements so that the tech companies pay a portion of the costs publishers incur to produce news content. Other governments, including Canada, have pledged to consider measures similar to what Australia has planned. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
The News 8 Daily 8 is sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling.
Be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast.
The News 8 Daily 8 with Kylie Conway. And be sure to discover even more great podcasts now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.